So, we're still a month away from the start of the Formula 1 season, and I know you all have got the itch to get back into the sport. Oh, please give us back the sport we love and hate so much. We need some Grand Prix action already. Well, what if I were to tell you that a Grand Prix is taking place this weekend? A Grand Prix that you cannot afford to miss. A Grand Prix steeped in history and one that has played host to many a Formula 1 driver since its inception back in 1950. A Grand Prix that is always won by somebody. Get ready for the New Zealand Grand Prix. Alright, you lot better not be laughing at that. At that voice, or that sentence. I mean, for you Europeans and the like, I get it. Why, when supposedly all the aces are in the other camp, should one take time out to watch this little championship happening on the other side of the world in the wee hours of the morning when I could be sleeping? Yep, you do have a point. There is a bit working against this, if you look at it from that perspective. But if you know what you're looking for, this is a race that you just can't miss. And yes, I'm saying that unironically. Nothing I say on this channel is a joke. I take my content very seriously. So, the setting. As you may have ascertained by the name of the Grand Prix, the race is set to be held in New Zealand, Aotearoa, land of the long white cloud, and the home of the Bob sample tank. Sure, it may have been made out of tin roofing and a 32-year-old tractor, but we're still here today, aren't we? We are a small nation, but we've got a long, successful history in motor racing. To a point. We are a country with an unhealthy obsession over fuel fumes and burnt Michelin rubber. None of us own homes anymore, but we do have a race car or two perked away in a garage that we don't own either. We never claimed to be a smart nation with money. We just like spending it on nice things, like we did back in 2005, when the powers that be formed a junior racing category, known then as the Toyota Racing Series, but now today known as the FIA Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship. Just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? Connoisseurs of my channel know that I can't go more than 5 seconds without mentioning this championship in some form. It's like baby oil to me, and that's because, despite being a million miles away from the rest of the world, and electricity, this series went from being purely domestic to a championship that attracted future Formula 1 drivers from all across the globe. Household names such as Lando Norris, Sir Lancelot, Daniel Kvyat, Joe Guan Yu, Yuki Tsunoda, Brendan Hartley, Will the Lad Stevens, Nicholas Latifi. Okay, we are starting to run out of sensible ones, but for those not rich or fortunate enough to make it to the top flight of motorsport, it has still seen drivers that would go on to compete and win the 24 Hour of Le Mans, World Endurance Championship, Super Formula Championship, Super GT, Supercars Championship, and so on. Current Formula 1 test drivers such as Liam Lawson and Bobby Schwartzy have been here, as have Formula 2 winners Callum Ilott, Jahan Daruvala, Artem Markelov, and Richard Verschoor. We've attracted Formula 1 Academy drivers, household motor racing families. We've even attracted royalty. I could dribble on for hours, but you get the picture here. The talent pool in this championship is healthy enough. But what about this year? And I say that knowing that half the damn grid is watching this video right now. So, I'll try not to slander. On the surface, to some, it don't look as healthy as the Middle Eastern Championship. And sure, we don't have Kimi Antonelli, we don't have Rafael Kamara, we don't have Dino Boganovic. So who are these characters and why should we care about them? Well, for the Brazilians out there, you may not have Rafael Kamara, but you do have Lucas Facori flying the flag for you. Successful enough in karting and looking to be even more successful in a racing car. With New Zealand being the sidecar to Australia's motorbike, we've naturally got some of those ones here too, in Tom McLennan, and the best rider that you would ever find outside of Grove Street. Only this one can actually find the freaking water. Europeans have got some rep too, including Adam Fitzgerald from Ireland, although I don't know if I want to talk about Irish sports people coming to New Zealand. Those were dark times. We've got some Dutch magic on this grid too. Not that type. But we do have Lawrence Van Hopen running around. The British have Josh Mason from Euro Formula Open and Louis Foster from Indy Lights. Those two racking up wins around the world and already starting to scare the shit out of the locals here with their pretty noticeable speed. And finally, the Austrians have Charlie Wirtz, son of former F1 driver Alex Wirtz. Mans was also the Formula 4 champion of the United Arab Emirates, beating Kimi Antonelli and Rafael Kamara to the title, even if, admittedly, they didn't do all the rounds. But it is still a trophy, and it is a name. It has got Formula 1 connections. It's something. The good old US of A have sent their largest contingent yet. 4 drivers, each more interesting than the last. Chloe Chambers from the W Series, who is proving thus far that yeah, she can actually drive. There's David Morales from GB3, already a winner in this series. There's cult legend Ryan Sheehan from US Formula 4, and Jacob Abel, who is now merely one step away from the IndyCar series. All those I've mentioned are here to take on some of New Zealand's finest and richest. Billy Fraser returns for another attempt at the Grand Prix in preparation for his Road to Indy schedule and whatever else it is that teenage Kiwis do in post-apocalyptic America. Brendan Leach also returns from racing Lambos in Italy for attempt number 309 at Grand Prix Glory. We also see the return of Chris Vanderdrift, one of the most versatile drivers that this nation has ever produced, and one of the coolest names ever to don a motor racing paddock. And finally, we have Caleb Natoa, the last New Zealand Grand Prix pole sitter and the world's second fastest Māori, will return to the fold as well. But we have got 4 more besides who are making their debuts this year. Brie Morris, a Formula 4 champion and someone who's just going to get better as time goes on. Liam Skeets, also a Formula 4 champion and a dude who is about 84% sure that he's actually a racing driver. James Penrose, a dude with a reputation of winning too many races on the domestic scene, even if, in racing years, he's about 83 years young. And the franchise player, so to speak, Callum Hedge, who has been taking the fight to verse this whole time and racking up pole position after pole position after pole position.
Oh, I never heard of those people.
And they'll all be signing autographs. Woohoo!
Don't know any of these characters? Well, same response applied a few years ago, and some of them are now on the Formula 1 grid. Give it time because they are the wave of the future. You want proof of this? The second round of this year's championship was held at Tauranga, the southernmost racetrack in the entire world, and the natural breeding ground for Aerowash. The last 2 drivers who won a race here and then went on to win the championship were these 2, Lando Norris and Lance Stroll. Ever heard of them? Well, the 2 drivers who won at that round this year are almost certainly going to be the champion. Well, one of them anyway. But maybe we have something here. Perhaps history is repeating itself. Okay, maybe a slight tad optimistic, but how can I not be? The race will be held at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park, and looks likely to be the last time to be held there. Next year, the Grand Prix will be headed to Highlands Motorsport Park, a track so mouth-wateringly picturesque that you don't even realise for a moment that it has a crocodile in the runoff. Sort of. But for this year at least, the Grand Prix will take place at Hampton Downs, the region's second most popular tourist attraction next to the local prison. The track has quite a few overtaking opportunities that even Aerowash can't scrub out, but it's not like a lot of the Grade 1 facilities that you see nowadays, like you do in, for instance, the Middle Eastern Championship. If you stray wide in a corner over there, you can keep the foot down, knowing that the tarmac runoff will keep you safe from harm. Over here, we don't have any of that. That's the great thing about New Zealand racetracks. Get it wrong here, you die. So it kinda keeps you on your toes. Sure, they're not overly flash, but they don't reward stupidity. They teach you to iron out mistakes. If you can drive well here, you can drive well anywhere. A lap of the track goes thusly. Turn 1 is a sweeping right-hander that just dares you to get onto that throttle early, but don't trust your gut because your gut is wrong. It is so freaking wrong, because there's only a couple inches of sealed runoff and a nice patch of grass waiting to meet you on the other side. You'll need to nail that exit down the straight toward turn 2, a genuine overtaking opportunity with a few different lines to be had into that corner. After that, you'll squiggle around Aerowash City for about 10 seconds before reaching the double left-hander, known affectionately as the double bastard corner, a corner named after me and the mirror I just so happened to be looking in at the time. After that, there's a short run to turn 7, but don't rest up, because overtakes are popular into that corner. Crashes too, an equally short run to turn 8, although with the track falling away under your feet, it's very easy to lock a brake and send someone onto their lid, or at the very least, into the shadow realm. Overtake if you must, but don't compromise that exit, because you'll need some speed heading into the sweeper, the long sweeper that leads you onto the front straight, which isn't straight. And again, stray wide on exit and you will miss your lap up, and leave yourself vulnerable to any lurking Marnuses behind you. That's a lap. And like I said, our tracks don't reward stupidity, hence why Nikita Mazepin drowned when he was here. We don't have much in the way of grandstands, but you can park yourself wherever you want. Unlike Formula 1 venues, we don't have that stupid token system for amenities, and we don't restrict vantage points for the peasants, and access to the characters of the paddock is more open than you would ever hope to find in a Formula 1 paddock. So this weekend, if you're anywhere close to Hampton Downs, be sure to head down to the venue to capture the sights and sounds of the Grand Prix, the great support categories that support it, and the endless notable personalities in that paddock, including me. I don't know if that's actually a good thing, but my point remains the same. At no other Grand Prix is it more accessible. Can't make it to the venue? No problemo. Check into motorsport.tv and watch history unfold before your very eyes. But even now, I can hear some of you groaning. In fact, probably all of you groaning. Why should I actually watch the New Zealand Grand Prix, Josh? Especially when it's going to be like 2 AM here in the UK? Who would actually watch a Grand Prix at that time? Are you nuts? Well, in that last part, we all know the answer there. As for the Grand Prix, look, do it for us. I know it sounds crazy, but 2 AM Grand Prix starting times? Oh, how the tables have turned. Aside from the fact that you could always watch it on demand, this race presents you with an opportunity to witness a moment in Grand Prix history. Lando Norris picked up his first Grand Prix win here. Lance Stroll picked up his first Grand Prix win here. Other people to have won it? Sir Jack Brabham, Sir Jackie Stewart, Sir Sterling Moss, Bruce McLaren, Graham Hill, Chris Amon, Keke Rosberg. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And those are just the ones that won it. There are more besides that have still gone on to Formula One. This series has got a history with fostering drivers into the top flight of motorsport. And this year, with 18 super license points on offer to the series winner, damn nearly half required to get the super license required to get into Formula One, this championship is quite crucial. This is quite literally the future of motor racing, and a future F1 driver could very well win their first Grand Prix this weekend. So thanks for hearing me out, provided you're still here.